Welcome to Sweet Tea with Coach Key. No slime, no grime, straight sugar. Real life stories of inspiration, perseverance, and prosperity. I hope you have your teacups ready. We have the sugar.
Hi. Today we're going to be talking about moving on ain't easy. We have this big perception of stepping into a different portion of your life, totally leaving the past behind as being this effortless task, and it's just not true. It's not effortless. It doesn't happen overnight, and it ain't easy. Yes, I said ain't easy. So we're going to talk about the 3 things that would be essential to moving on, officially moving on, leaving the past behind, and stepping into that new thing for your life. So, number 1, get it out. Get it all out. Everything that makes you think about, everything that you're holding on to, all of those toxic thoughts that you wake up early in the morning thinking about, just get it all out. One good time, one last time, get it out. Dig deep and just truly get it out. Excuse me. All of those things, all of those times that you've talked about it with Sue and Jeff and Alan and Tamika, get it all out one last time and leave it alone. Continuing to talk about it and giving it life. When you speak out things, you give it life. You know, that's written. And if you continue to talk about the past, it is almost impossible not to move on. And I speak about this quite often, about changing the story for yourself. And if you constantly talk about this toxic thing or this bad experience or this hurtful situation, you aren't giving yourself, 1, the opportunity to move on, and 2, to change the story. And in order to change the story, you have to go through this healing process in order to give it a different view. Allow yourself to see the situation from a different view. And a lot of it just comes from not seeing the other side of it. You know, and a prime example is being in a relationship with someone, you having all these expectations and these dreams, and you can see it. You can see how good you are for each other and everything that the relationship could be. And the relationship transitions, and it seems like this is so unfortunate. At the time it does. But if you don't give yourself, and you continue to talk about this, if you don't give yourself the opportunity to move on, you aren't able to experience that thing that God has for you, that relationship that He does have for you, that partner that He has for you. Excuse me. You aren't able to change that story, and you aren't able to truly step into what God has for you if you constantly keep living that same story over and over. And that's essentially what you do when you stay in it and you talk about it over and over and over and over and over. Because whenever you complain, because it's a complaint, you're complaining because you're sad and it hurts. So wherever you complain, you will remain. And that's just, you know, it is what it is with that. So that's number 1. Get it out and leave it alone. Explaining and talking about it. My most difficult times in my life, I am now able to talk about those things and still sleep at night because it doesn't have the power that it used to have over me. I didn't have the understanding of what those things meant. What was the purpose for me experiencing those toxic breakups, that single parent, raising 2 children on my own as a teenager, being homeless, all of those things did not make sense at the time, but now 5, 6, 10 years later, it all makes sense to me, and I'm able to speak about those things because I have changed the story. I stopped talking about it as I was going through it. I accepted it for what it was. I bloomed where I was planted, and what I mean by that is, this is my situation. This is what I've been handed, because we've all been handed something. We all have our own story, right? We've all been handed something. So I accepted what I was dealing with, and I moved on. So get it out and leave it alone. Number 2, get rid of distractions. If you have, and this is just a very minute piece, but if you have a ton of pictures of this person, it might be a good time to, if you're not in a good place to get rid of them, because we're going to be totally realistic, put them in a box. Put them in a box and tuck the box away. If you have a ton of pictures of this person on your social media, tuck them away in the album and make the album private. Or save all the pictures in a folder, tuck the folder away on your computer, and remove it and delete it from being online. Not saying that you are in a good place to do it, to delete everything right now, but let's take steps to move forward to get rid of those distractions. Also, reality TV. Reality TV is the culprit of negative emotions. Oh my goodness. Jealousy, covetousness, wanting what other people have, gluttony, needing 50 million pairs of Louboutins and $1 million every single day of your life. And if you aren't making $1 million, then you aren't successful and you're not prosperous. Being on social media, watching reality TV, and listening to depressing music. And what I mean by depressing music, it just solely depends on your situation. So if it used to be you and your ex-boyfriend's favorite song, or you and your best friend's song that y'all listen to in the car when y'all would head out for a fun night out, that may not be a song, that is not a song that you want to listen to. If it's a song that's talking about it, that may not be a good selection for what you're trying to accomplish in your life within the next few months and the next few years. That is a distraction. And you have to rid yourself of those things to move on, because moving on ain't easy. And we think that we can hold on to all this past activity and all the things that we used to do, and all the things we used to do in the past, the way we used to think in the past, and think that we're going to be able to take all this baggage and God is going to propel us forward, when it's not going to happen. You have a vessel. You have like I said in one of my previous videos, it's like a water bottle. If it's filled to the max, there's nothing else that can be placed in there. Make yourself fully available to step into a new life and experience a new thing. Get rid of all that junk, because that's what it is. Those judgmental live in a box posts on social media where you have to live this way. You got to have this body type. You got to have this many children, and they got to have, long curly hair, and they got to be this skin complexion, and this song talking about how your relationship is supposed to be, and if it's not this way. And then you have the reality TV where, this person's relationship was like this, and I want my relationship to be that way. They went through this and that with their mate, and their relationship it appears to be amazing because they have this car and they have this money, and mine should be no. God didn't create you to live their life. God did not create you to live their life. I'm going to say it again. God didn't create you to live anyone else's life. You're going to have your own life, your own story, your own experiences, your own breakthroughs. Excuse me. So allow yourself to step into those things, because the thing that you're moving on is not your reality. That is not your destiny. It may be what is currently going on right now, but that is not your destiny. And even though it happened in the past, that's not going to be the thing. You do not want it to be the thing that you're known for, your legacy, because the thing happened in your past, that does not equate to your legacy. And that's on a broader term, and that's on a broader scheme of things. If you're thinking about how am I going to step into creating a legacy for myself and for my family, how am I going to step into those things if I'm holding on to this thing that happened months or years ago? I can't step into that next phase of my life to create that legacy. So right now, it appears that my past is sort of my legacy. It's what I'm living every day, is what I'm giving to people when I'm talking about myself and my life, and that's all that I am. That's what's in my forefront. This is what's on my windshield. And your life, it's so much bigger, and God has so much more planned for you. Get rid of those distractions. Number 3, stop feeling sorry for yourself. Coming out of this situation that I just came out of, with having the medical procedures, and finding out that I did not have cancer, and everything was basically fine. My gland that was being operated on was suspected to be cancerous. And when I went to my follow-up appointment with my doctor, he informed me that my gland just grew abnormally. And what he meant by that was he has never seen a case where someone's gland has exceeded the normal size the way mine did, and it was sort of scary. So we had to make sure that it was safe and it wasn't harming my body. So I was elated when I got the news. Excuse me. Me and my husband, we were elated. My mother-in-law, my mother, excuse me. My other family members, just really, really, really thankful, in a really, really, really good place. And I just happened to get on the phone with someone, and they said to me, you are fortunate to have a lot of time on your hands, because I will be on the phone with an attorney. And I thought, wow, that just really changed my perception on the way that I was seeing this situation. I was standing in a place of just gratefulness, just overwhelming amount of gratitude. Thank you, God, because I had gotten in my mind that, God, if this is the path that you want my life to take, I'm gonna take it, because I know that you're gonna take it with me, and I'm gonna be a walking testament of your love and your favor and your graciousness, all of that, even if cancer was written in my story. So being that he still has this plan for my life, and he still loves me, he's still awesome, and he did not have that in my story, I was thankful. But I got on the phone with this certain someone, and they said I would be hiring an attorney because you trusted this medical opinion of a professional, and they sort of misdiagnosed you, and they went and cut on your neck, because I had neck surgery. They cut on your neck, and it was this gland is a part of your body. And it just took me in a totally different space. It was sort of like I was in a trance. Like I was standing still, and it was like I was in a globe, standing still in a globe, and it just went really fast around my body. And it was like a totally different outlook on what I was experiencing. And I started to feel sorry for myself. It took a couple days for me to fully get over it. But I really started to feel sorry for myself. Like, why did I have to go through that? Not even a why, but just I had to go through that. Woe is me. I get to feel sorry for myself and be in a rut about this because it happened to me, and I became stagnant. And the thing about being stagnant is that you overthink, and you can become bitter. You can become bitter, you're complacent, you're not moving. So you overthink things, and it can often cause confusion because you're sitting in one place, and it's kind of like you're going through a note or a book really, really fast. You're just skimming through the pages really, really fast, and you're not really getting anywhere because you're not reading, and you're not making progress through the book. You're just sort of skimming through the pages. And that's the way I was. I was just in my thoughts, and I was just in a stump. And it was like I was in just a garden of negativity, and it was just blooming up all over me. And it all started with one conversation with someone, and not any fault to them, because I allowed that. I got on the phone with my spirit open, trusting this person, and my view of what I was experiencing changed. And just a disclaimer, make sure that your hope is in someone, that the only person who cannot fail you. putting your hope or putting your faith into other people, we are flawed. We're human. So that was a very valuable lesson that I learned about going, having my spirit totally open without being alert in conversations, to make sure that I'm staying cognizant of where my body is going, my spirit is going, because I can't put that much trust and that much hope into other people, based on what they say when I know that I'm in a very vulnerable state. Before I pick up that phone, I need to make sure that I have covered myself in prayer, make sure that I have, my spirit isn't totally open to allow that to happen to me. But I did get into a place where I began to feel sorry for myself. And why not me? Like I said earlier, we all have our situations. We all experience things. Why not me? There are people who have experienced way worse than me, who more than likely live a holier than thou life than me, who have been more obedient, who totally commit themselves in every portion of their life to God and experience worse things than me. So why not me? I was in a total stagnant situation with feeling sorry for myself. And I remember occurrences years ago with relationships that transitioned. And I will never say relationship failed, because it didn't fail. It did exactly what it was supposed to do. It was supposed to transition. And I have a clear understanding of that now. But some of my relationships in the past, I would totally feel sorry for myself because, like I said earlier, I would have this total vision of what it could be, what it should be, what it's going to be, all of these things. And I would get totally bummed out when they would not turn out to be this way. Totally feel sorry for myself. Oh, he cheated. Oh, this, and oh, he did this, and oh, he did this. Okay, that all has happened. And we're going to take all of what has happened, accept it for what it is, and we're going to move on. No more feeling sorry for myself. I heard someone mention before, instead of thinking of life being this, or an experience being so hurtful and so toxic, consider it, I have a PhD in this area. Oh, I have a PhD in relationships because I have been through crazy relationships, would it be friendships, relationships with spouses, children, family. I now have a PhD in relationships because I have been through the jobs. I've worked here, there, everywhere, and I'm finally where I want to be, where I need to be. So if you need some type of guidance, some type of information, and some encouragement when it comes to employment and a career, I have a PhD in the area because I have been through it all when it comes to this. I have had my share of grooming when it comes to careers and relationships. So instead of feeling sorry for yourself, change your story and adopt a new way of thinking about it. It takes time and it ain't easy, but it can be done. So we have talked about our 3 essentials to moving on: getting it out and leaving it alone, getting rid of distractions, and stop feeling sorry for yourself. So, again, moving on ain't easy, but it can be done. You are worthy of a prosperous and a fresh future. You can start the journey today, right now, of creating your legacy and creating the life that you do deserve. I love you. And as always, you can find me on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Coach Keisha Austin. My email is support@CoachKeishaAustin.com. You can also find me online at KeishaAustin.com. I hope that you all have a blessed and prosperous week, and I will talk with you soon. Take care.